as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day.
Pedro is the director of the Ciudad de los Niños. Mundo Infantil, sorry, I get them confused, right? The Mundo Infantil. Now, the reason why I said the other one is because there's two. There's Ciudad de los Niños and there's Mundo Infantil. And everybody gets them confused because they're the two orphanages in Malaga. The Ciudad de los Niños has Catholic funding, so they get quite a lot of funding as well as government funding. However, Mundo Infantil only gets a basic yearly government funding, so we get no extra funding from any religion or any churches or anything like that. We have 36 children, ranging from any age, because in Alora they come in from. Yeah, but in Alora they come in at any age, because Alora is the first response, where they get taken from their families. If it's a really bad situation, they instantly go to Alora, and they have 1 year there. Hopefully in that year we can find them fostering or adoption, but if not, then they move on to Antequera, where they're there up until they're 18. Then when they get to 18, if they still haven't managed to find any adoption or any homes, which once they get to Antequera doesn't really happen because the funding goes down a lot, they then move to Malaga Cauce, which is one of the only ones in Malaga that has any help for over 18-year-olds. And this gives them a year and a half. There's only 16 places in the whole of Malaga that has this. This gives them a year and a half with free rent in shared accommodation and free paid electricity and water and their bills, so that they can go out and they get help to try and find jobs and move on to other places. Before Pedro came to us, he used to get a lot of help from Cara from the Boardwalk. And now, as I'm sure all of you know, Cara's decided to pass it on to us because she's gone to go and do a lot of help in another charity that's very close to her heart. So we just need to ask you all to get to know us. You know, we need some more awareness. Not a lot of people know about it. Spain don't really want to talk about orphanages. They like to kind of act like they're not there. But the more we don't talk about it, no one knows, no one can help us because no one knows we're there. So we just need to get some more awareness in knowing that Ciudad de los Niños, Mundo Infantil, they're two different things. Because Ciudad de los Niños has the ties to the Catholic churches, they get a lot of awareness and a lot of funding. And then the Mundo Infantil kind of gets left behind a little bit, but they're all doing the same thing. We're all trying to help out for the children, and Mundo Infantil needs quite a lot more awareness because nobody knows about them. So.
Okay. Don't go. Come back. Pedro, vuelve. Lena's asking if you have social media awareness. This is one of the main things. But also, in this vein, Cara from the Boardwalk has done amazing, and I don't think that enough can be said. She's not here today because she's poorly. I've actually got an award for her because she's Marbella's unsung hero. She has quietly, she takes them for food. She's organised the Christmas. I don't think enough can be said of what Cara has done, and I actually do have an award for her as a Marbella unsung hero because she is amazing. Ellie's now taking over, but come back this way a bit so people can see you. When the children leave the orphanage and they turn 18, they are in a city with no family. So one of the ideas that we've been saying is to take those orphans when they're no longer now to live there, as opposed to being alone in a city. In Marbella, how many of us here do not have families? We kind of make our own little family groups. Much easier for a child to come into our community, find a little family group. And so one of the questions on the registration was who would offer a job to a Malaga orphan, anyone interested? And one of them is here, our litter picker, Joe Mehawi, who has also got a grassifier, artificial grass company. He was one of the ones that said yes. I'm in for that. These are the things now, these are the people from the orphanage. If you are interested in helping orphans, anything to do with the orphans, you want to support, give them a job, these are the people now. When you have a moment, you find them out, get together. You can do meetings, as I say, in the exhibition centre. Give us the dates that you all find agreement and we'll follow up. Joe started in Marbella litter pickers. And he just gets a group together and they go walking around like last weekend, it was, or 2 weekends ago in Los Naranjos. And he puts on his Facebook page, we're all meeting Los Naranjos, bring your rubber gloves and your bags, and a nice walk and clearing up. So a quick Joe for litter pickers.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Nicole. So litter pickers is really something you don't have to come and join and wake up early on a Saturday morning to come and do. We have a group page on Facebook, so you can just type litter pickers into your Facebook page. You can find us on an app called Meetup. I don't know if anybody knows Meetup. It's a great app. There are lots of clubs on there, from everything from Bitcoin currency to readers clubs, artist clubs, anything. So we're on there too. The idea is we go to beautiful places like Las Tortugas, the lake in Turtle Lake, which a lot of you might know, close by, full of rubbish. There's lots and lots of rubbish down there. We just get together, we meet nice, like-minded people, we pick up the rubbish. But like I said, you don't have to do that. It could be as simple as you're walking home, you see a piece of rubbish on the floor, you see a bin up ahead, you do the good deed. I think this place is beautiful. There's some really stunning places here in Marbella. It's paradise. But there's a lot of rubbish too, people throwing it out of their car windows. And like every other charity, it's just about awareness. A lot of people do it, not thinking about it. We can raise awareness, keep the place clean, help the world, and show the children that this is the way we need to keep our planet. And that's it. Thank you.
Hey, hey, it's a brand new day.
With age concern here in Marbella and San Pedro, but before anything, I just want to say very big thank you to Nicole and Fiona for hosting this meeting this morning. A round of applause. The Costa del Sol has been a place, a haven really, for the people retiring. And all along the Costa del Sol we have probably tens of thousands of families retiring. And we have lots of happy moments and lots of very sad moments. Age Concern has been present here since the turn of the millennium, the first branch being Estepona and Manilva, and then Fuengirola and Mijas, and now last year, Marbella and San Pedro. We need your support, not only for volunteers, not only for fundraising, but your support generally to put the word out that we're here active. We need the support from the town hall as well, because one thing we're desperate for is to have a locale. We must have a locale where we could have a drop-in centre, and we're talking about a big number of people living in Marbella and San Pedro, expatriates. We're not only dealing with British, we're dealing with Belgian, French, German, you name it, and lots of Spanish people as well. Now, with this year, we've started a training program, which we're calling the Introduction course to Age Concern, and we've been preparing volunteers, people who are offering, say, a couple of hours a week to visit, do domiciliary visits, or to do visits in the old people's homes of Orpea. And we have a representative here this morning from Orpea, which is the residential care home in Puerto Banús. We are also helping in many other areas. Just recently we had a phone call from the social services of the prison. The prison had an elderly gentleman who had age-related problems, and he'd been 3 years in prison, and there was no one to help him. And the question was from the social worker in the prison, will you help? So I took that call, and I made 1 or 2 calls, and apparently the local consul, the best they could do was to provide an emergency passport and do repatriation. The very next morning I went to the prison to interview the gentleman and the social services, and he said he did no way wanted to return after so many years of living in Spain. He wanted to stay here. He wanted to be in Ronda. Well, we're in San Pedro, so okay, let's help. And that was a year ago, and that gentleman is in a rest home, a care home in in Rhondda, being well looked after and very happy. And we've recruited a couple of volunteers in Rhondda who do weekly visits, and the gentleman's very happy. He has no family and no friends. He was completely on his own. And our motto is, never be alone. Now I'd like to introduce you to my colleague, who probably a lot of you will know from ITS, a famous actress and a director, and she's been involved in training all our volunteers. So over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Stephen. I've only been involved with Age Concern for just over a year, and I am responsible for training the people at the moment, but I've also been working as a volunteer in order to find out exactly what is needed in our local area. I'd like to talk to you about volunteering because I think sometimes people are quite overwhelmed by the idea. But people can become a volunteer for Age Concern who are only prepared to give up as little as an hour a week. And we never ever expect anybody to do more than 8 hours a week. In fact, it's in the volunteer's contract that they mustn't. So please don't feel that it's something that you can't take on. Nobody is ever expected to go and visit somebody and help them without having a supervisor go with them at least the first time. And if you're not comfortable, then they can shadow you on the second visit. I personally have been visiting 2 different people in their 90s who are alone and living here without close family. One of them has no family at all. And if I don't go every Monday morning to take him shopping, then he doesn't get out of his apartment at all. He's not well enough walking to be able to go out on his own. So these are things that are really important. As Stephen said, we have been doing these orientation sessions so that people are prepared for any emergency or unexpected problems that might occur, which you might not have thought of, and things that I have come across during the year that I have been doing this, that people have asked me to do, and it's very important that people know what they can and cannot do. We are not an emergency service. We don't take over people's lives. We just help them to improve the life that they have here. And sometimes we can contact other voluntary groups to help them out, either financially or, as Stephen said, to contact somewhere where they can move to and be in a safe and secure environment. There's always a backup available, and the most important thing is, now that we have all these trained volunteers, we need more clients. We're looking for people who need help. So all of you are here today. All of you are here today.
And it's time